security and infrastructure architect who has done a lot around the Microsoft space, um, and I am fully focused around the security now. And just as it said, my focus is for me to be able to help customers, help organizations to strengthen their security infrastructure, and also to help bring up the young people out there that are looking at going into tech, especially leveraging, or especially looking at going into the security arm of tech, right? Yeah, so let me just show my face for a few moments, even though I'm a very shy person, but then, okay. Um, okay, so, um, yeah, so this is myself, and I think we can just dive into the
Yes,
presentation. Yeah, so or do
yes.
you have any other thing you want to add before I move into
No,
the presentation?
you can go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. So just like you mentioned, right? So I'll be presenting around the Microsoft Copilot for security. So when I'm coming, let me share my screen. Come in. Um, okay, so let's see. Okay, so let me present in Teams. Can you see my screen?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Um, let's take it from here now, right? So if we look at what is actually trending now, right? AI is actually trending. I think it's been is it 2 years or 3 years? I think 2 years when even though AI, artificial intelligence, has been in existence for several years, but since the past 2 or 3 years, it's actually been trending, right? Um, a lot of people have been getting to use the AI to actually perform some of their tasks at the speed of AI. It's making them to be more productive. Um, it's making them to do a whole lot of things. Everybody now are using AI. Everybody are using AI. And the way we are using AI, that's the way attackers are also looking at using what is actually trending to penetrate into different customers' environments, into different businesses and many more, so that they can always have things to actually use against them. So now, for those of us that are familiar with Copilot, when we look at Copilot, Copilot is Microsoft AI solution, which is actually being used to automate, to perform, and to get to perform tasks at the speed of AI, right? So, and when we look at the Copilot, there are now different types of Copilot. When we look at offices in general, we have different departments. We have the IT department, we have the finance department, we have the operational department, we have the some of all the developers, right? So now Copilot is also into different areas, right? But today we'll be focusing around the security aspect of the Copilot. But then Copilot is in different areas. We have the M365 Copilot, which helps users to be more productive. You want to generate the likes of proposals, you want to summarize documents and many more. You want to analyze documents and different things. The M365 Copilot comes in, right? But then when we now look at the likes of IT administrators, the likes of SecOps analysts, the likes of SOC analysts, the likes of security administrators, right? They also have a solution which is called the Microsoft Copilot for Security, which is now called the Security Copilot. It's a solution that helps users to protect at the speed of AI. And here today, I'll be telling us about something really very exciting, which is Copilot for Security. And I can boldly say it that is the first generative AI product which helps security and IT team to protect at the speed of AI, right? So now let's dive into the solution itself. So now, imagine, let's take it from here. Imagine if you have a uh, maybe a super smart digital assistant that helps you to keep your devices, your data, and your organization safe from bad guys online, right? That's basically what Copilot for Security is. It's like you having an extra team member who understands threats better than any woman because it reads huge amount of security data, right? It learns constantly using machine learning, right? Then it also gives advices, explanations, and actions into simple languages so that even non-experts, people that are not even security experts, can help to investigate, catch threats, and make better decisions in terms of security. So that's what Copilot for Security does. And how does it work, right? So now, this Copilot for Security, it combines different things. I'll summarize it into 5 different things. The first one is data, right? So now it constantly reads and analyzes security signals across all Microsoft tools, just like um, CCTV camera, right? If you have a CCTV camera in an environment, it gets to watch out for everything that is going on in that environment. That's the way Copilot constantly reads and analyze security signals from all the existing Microsoft security tools like the Defender, the Intune, the Purview, right? So that's the first one, which is about data. Also, it also uses what is called the threat intelligence, right? Threat intelligence helps to keep track of what hackers are doing around the world, and it learns from millions of global attacks every day. So it checks out for what hackers are trying to do around the world, and it learns from millions of global attacks that has actually happened in the world, right? Also, Copilot also utilizes what is called product integration and telemetry, whereby it connects with different Microsoft tools like the Defender, the Entra, the Intune, Sentinel, and many more to understand what is actually happening across your entire environment in real time, right? Then also, it also utilizes what is called skill and product knowledge, whereby it knows how security tasks should be done, from the likes of investigating malware to checking device compliance, and also to teach how you can tailor different tasks according to your organization, right? And lastly, it also gets to utilize what is called the industry standard, and it uses what is called machine learning to adapt, to improve and spot patterns that we humans may get to miss from the security landscape. So that's what Security for Copilot, it actually utilizes all these 5 solutions: data, threat intelligence, product integration, telemetry, product knowledge, as well as machine learning. So it leverages everything to help you to have an AI assistant which explains the likes of security alert in a simple language, investigate threats for you, suggest the best step for you to fix problems. Then also it helps you to write reports, summarize, help you to make faster decisions for you to be able to quickly investigate incidents, right? So now, like I said, the Microsoft Security for Copilot is the first generative AI product that empowers security and IT team. So now, moving forward, so now what are the primary use cases of this Security for Copilot or Security Copilot? So now, Microsoft, the way they do things, they've made the Copilot extremely easy for us to use by focusing on four major things, right? It's majorly focusing on four major things, right? Which are incident summarization, reverse engineering of scripts, impact analysis, as well as guided response, right? So now let's now break it down into one after the other, right? The first one, which is incident summarization. So instead of you reading, for those of us that are probably maybe security analysts, people that respond to incidents and many more, right? Instead of you reading long, confusing security alerts, Copilot, it quickly turns those tons of security alert, it turns it into short form. It also gives you a clear summary so that you can get to easily understand it, and it also help your team to know what is going on and how you can get to respond to it quicker. Right? That is about the incident summarization. Then also about impact analysis. You know, when something goes wrong, Copilot, it helps you to see what system or data may have been affected, right? It gives you a quick view of how serious those issues can actually be fixed so that you can focus your attention on where it matters most, right? Then the third part, which is about the script, that's the reverse engineering of script. So now, if there is a suspicious, if there's a suspicious script, or probably maybe a suspicious command that looks complicated, right? Copilot can help you break them down into simple English and explaining what each and every point of it does and pointing out anything dangerous from the script or from the command. So now this saves times and it gives you, even people that are non-experts, it gives them ways for them to be able to understand the threat and understand how the script is actually being analyzed. Then also, it also gives what is called the guided response, right? Which is the most popular one, right? Copilot, that's the Copilot for security. It doesn't just explain the problem, it tells you what to do, right? It gives you step by step, it gives you guides. It guides you through how you can check the issue, right? What the issue is all about, what is contained, and how you can get to fix it, helping your team to respond faster, right? So, for example, now maybe there's a particular incident, right? It gives you a summary part of the incident, it gives you the impact, right? Then it also gives you a guided response that you can use to respond to that particular incident, right? It would also come up with, let's say, for instance, maybe you need to reach out to one of your team member. It also gives you like it gives you what you can also send to your team member for you to properly investigate the incident. So now with all these four primary use cases, you know that analyzing or maybe investigating of incident is actually being tackled, and Copilot utilizes these four primary use cases. So now, how does this Copilot itself, how does it even work, right? I want to investigate an incident. How does it work? I want to summarize something. How does it work, right? So now, this Copilot for security, it's it's actually been broken down into five different ways, from the prompt to the planner to the build content to the response and as well as the responding. Okay, now let's take it from the first part, which is the prompt. So now let's say you ask Copilot a question. That means you are prompting it. That's an human which is trying to prompt Copilot something. Maybe you type a question or probably an instruction. Let's say, for instance, you tell Copilot, show me all the suspicious activities in my environment within the last 30 days. Right? So that means you are prompting it for something. Or maybe you told it to help you to analyze a particular incident, or it should help you to evaluate a particular device, right? So that means you are prompting it. So whenever you prompt the Copilot as an human, the next thing Copilot does is that it makes a plan, right? And that's where the planner is coming in from, right? And it's the security Copilot that will plan it. So it will look at what you ask, right? And it would now decide for the best way to answer it using all the security tools that we have, whereby it's maybe check for logs, it pull ups alerts, it reviews device info, or probably it examines user activities, right? So after it has done the planning part, then the next thing is that it now gathers the right information for you, whereby we call it build content. So it goes into the security system to collect all the data that are needed to answer your question. For example, now, maybe for it to answer your question, it has to go through the Defender, or maybe it has to go through Sentinel, it has to go through Intune, or it has to go through Entra. So it goes through the security system and collects the data that is actually needed to answer your question. And that's where the build content comes in, right? Then the next step is about responding to you, right? So Copilot thinks and generates the actual answer for you, whereby it's responding. So it pull out all the information together and create a clear explanation, or probably a recommended action for you. For example, now maybe you asked it that how many suspicious login activities do you have on a particular device within so period of time. It will now give you the response like probably there were 3 suspicious login attempts on this device, and the user must reset their password, right? So now it has given you like the responding part. Then lastly, you now receive the final output, whereby Copilot now gives you a clean and a easy to understand answer, whereby it now gives you a very clear answer whereby you can get to understand as an human, which is called the response part. So Copilot, if you ask a Copilot, or maybe you prompt a Copilot, or you want to ask Copilot for security something, so it goes through these 5 stages for it to give you the proper answer and the proper response. So the first part is the prompt, like I said, which will be done by the user. Then the second part is actually the planning part, which will be done by the security Copilot, right? Then the third part is the building of the content, whereby it gathers the right information from you. So it goes through the security solutions to get to gather the right information from you. Then also, then it's now come up with like a responding plan for you before it now gives you the actual response, right? In a simple form, or should I say in a simple form, you ask a question, Copilot investigates, and Copilot explain it to you in a clear form, whereby you now have a very smart security analyst working 24/7 based on what is actually required within the organization. So that's the way the Copilot for security works. So now let me just show you a little diagram about how it works, right? So now in a friendly way, the first thing is that, maybe you want to, it's just like a data flow of the way security Copilot works. So the first thing is that, you as an human, right, you get to interact with Copilot maybe from your existing tool. Let's say, for instance, now I want to get something directly from a particular security tool, maybe from Defender or from Intune, right? So now that means you ask Copilot a question directly from a platform, maybe from the Defender XDR, or from the Sentinel, or from the Intune, or maybe from the Security Copilot portal itself, right? So maybe you ask it a question like maybe investigate this alert or probably summarize an incident, right? So Copilot will gather only the relevant data, whereby Copilot connects, it connects securely to the security tool that can do it for you, right? That question, that prompt that you're giving it, it gathers the relevant information and it connects you securely to the Microsoft security products that can do that. And not just only Microsoft security product, because of course you can also get to integrate other third-party tools like maybe Splunk, like ServiceNow, like Sophos, Trend Micro, and other solutions. You can also get to connect it. You can also get to integrate it with security for Copilot. So now, so now, Copilot now gathers the relevant information whereby it connects you securely to the security tool as well as the third-party tool to collect the information needed to answer your query, right? So this ensures that Copilot works with a complete up-to-date data within your environment, right? You ask it a question from a security from a security portal, then it connects you to the solution that will do it to ensure that the data it wants to give you is the data from your environment, right? Then after then the third thing is that it now prepare your data, right? Your data is now being prepared, whereby it involves going to the AI, right? It involves pre-processing your information, whereby it organizes it properly and it ensures that the AI is actually working accurate. So now this step guarantees that the final response that is going to give you is actually being accurate and is actually based on your organization, is actually being environmental specific, not that it's giving you a generic solution, right? So the next thing is that it prepares your data, right? Then after it prepares your data, then Copilot now sends a redefined query to the AI engine, whereby Copilot sends a modified prompt in a very clean and a structured version. So it sends it to the to the AI engine, which is a large language model, which we call LLM, right? So, and we need to be rest assured that even though Copilot is sending this thing to the LLM, right, all your data, they actually remain within the Microsoft secure boundary. Your data is not shared outsidely, right? And your data is not being used to train any foundation model, right? Any communication that you do there is actually being encrypted, right? So this ensures we have what is called this ensures that we have what is called full compliance with data privacy as well as corporate security standard, right? So after it has sent your query into the AI machine, then the next thing is that the AI machine now generates a very intelligent response for you, whereby the LLM analyzes your query and returns the likes of maybe insight, explanation, recommended actions, probably a summary, or maybe it's a script that you want, or you want it to investigate a particular, it gives you investigation steps and many more. And it tailors everything according to your environment, right? Then lastly, before you now see your results, Copilot runs it through a responsible AI filter, ensuring that your response is actually being safe, your response is compliant, your response is free from harmful content, right? Then it also aligns with corporate security policies, whereby it protects your team and your organization, right? So those are the flows that Copilot does. And also, it also had more insight into it, whereby it gives you the likes of recommendation, the likes of it also had the likes of recommendations, additional content, or probably automated steps for you to properly have a good response, right? So that's the flow at which the Copilot for security works, right? So now the first one, in summary, the first one is that you interact with Copilot using an existing tool, maybe from Defender or from Sentinel, right? Then after then, Copilot gathers the relevant data, right? Whereby it connects to the security tool that will give you the right data, maybe from Defender or from Intune, from Splunk or anything, right? Then it's now prepare your data for you, whereby it involves going through the AI model, right? Then after then, it now sends it to the AI engine so that the AI engine can modify it for you, right? Then it now gives you, it analyzes the stuff for you in a very good query, whereby it returns the likes of explanations, insight, maybe it gives you the script or probably the investigation steps, right? Then it also applies its AI check, whereby it gives you a response that is actually being safe, accurate, and a response that is actually being tailored to your organization, right? So that's the way the security for Copilot data flows across, or that's the way data flows across security for Copilot, right? I'm sure most of all these things at the demo section, you get to understand some of all these things better for those of us that are not fully security people, right? So now, moving forward, so now this Copilot for security, because when you look at Microsoft end-to-end security, um, we have different workloads, or should I say different solutions under the Microsoft end-to-end security, from the identity and access, which is the Entra, to the threat protection, which is the Defender, to the information protection, which is the Purview, to the privacy part, which is the Priva, then also to the SIM and SWA solution, which is called Sentinel. So security for Copilot actually integrates with all these solutions, whereby it integrates with all the security pillars, right? So now let me now explain it better. So now when we look at the first part, which is called the Microsoft Defender. So Microsoft Defender is a Microsoft threat protection solution, whereby so Defender protects organizations' devices. It protects your devices, your applications, and your data from attackers, right? So now Copilot connects to Defender to help you summarize the likes of alerts, explain incidents in plain English language, right? It recommend next steps for you, right? So think of it like maybe Defender detects maybe a threat, then Copilot helps you to understand and quickly respond to that threat, right? Defender detects the threat, then Copilot helps you to understand and respond quickly to that threat, right? So that's the way Copilot comes into Defender. Okay, now, so for the second part, which is the Microsoft Sentinel, which is the SIM and the SWA solution, right? So what Sentinel does is that Sentinel collects logs from different data connectors and signals across an entire IT environment, right? So Copilot now integrates with Sentinel to help you to investigate alerts from those data connectors automatically, right? It helps you to investigate alerts that are coming from those logs, right? Copilot helps you to investigate those alerts automatically, right? It helps you to write queries, right? Whereby it provides you quick threat analysis, right? Instead of an analyst digging through logs, going through logs, Copilot gives you an insight instantly on the particular log, right? So that's the way Copilot integrates with Sentinel. Then also for the Entra part, right? So now Microsoft Entra, it handles the likes of is the identity and access management arm of Microsoft, whereby it handles the likes of logins, the likes of identity protection, and the likes of access control, right? So Copilot uses Entra signal to detect the likes of suspicious sign-in patterns across the environment. It explains the likes of risky users, right? It helps you to suggest actions to reduce identity compromise within your environment, right? And it also helps you to turn your identity data into a clear guidance, right? So that's where Copilot gets to integrate with Entra to help you to detect suspicious sign-in patterns, explain risky users. If there are risky users within your environment, Copilot helps you to explain it better to you. Then it also helps to suggest actions to reduce identity compromise within your organization, whereby it gets to turn your identity data into a clear view or a clear guidance, right? So that's where Copilot gets to integrate with Microsoft Entra. Then also for Microsoft Intune, right? So Microsoft Intune is a device management solution, right? It's a Microsoft device management solution and application management solution. So Intune manages and secure mobile devices, laptops, and application across your organization. So it helps you to manage and secure mobile devices, laptops, and applications across your organization. So now Microsoft Copilot now uses the data from Intune to highlight device compliance issues. So let's say, for instance, now there's a device that has a compliance issues. Copilot uses the data from that Intune to highlight and to explain the compliance issues that you have. Then it recommend policy changes, the kind of changes that you can do to your policies to ensure that your device is actually compliant, right? And also, probably you want to troubleshoot a particular device. Copilot helps you to speed up the troubleshooting. Maybe this particular device is not compliant, antivirus is not going to the device, you need to troubleshoot it. Copilot helps you to speed up that troubleshooting, whereby it gives you insights on the right path for you to go through, right? So now this ensures that your devices, they stay healthy and secure, right? So that's where Copilot helps to integrate into the Microsoft Intune, right? Then also for the Purview, right? So the Purview is the Microsoft data security and compliance solution, whereby Purview protects sensitive documents and data, right? So now the Copilot uses the Purview insight, the insight it generates from the Purview. It uses the Purview insight to identify the likes of risky data exposures, right? If there are any risky data exposure within your environment, it identifies it using the insight from the Purview. Then it also gets to explain DLP alerts. If you have the likes of data loss preventions, it helps you to explain any alert that comes from data loss prevention. It also helps to classify and secure data so that it becomes your data governance assistant within the environment, right? So that's how Copilot integrates with the Microsoft Purview. Then, of course, for Priva, for those of us that know Microsoft Priva, it's a privacy management solution. So Priva focus on personal data and privacy risk. So Copilot integrates with Priva to summarize, it integrates with Priva to summarize privacy risk, whereby it keeps you compliant. Then it also helps to suggest ways for you to reduce your data exposure, whereby it turns privacy work into a very simple and guided action, right? Then lastly, the Microsoft Threat Intelligence, right? So now the Microsoft Threat Intelligence and experts, the threat intelligence, what it does is that it gives Copilot a global knowledge about real-time threat, right? It gives a global knowledge about real-time threats, whereby it checks out for the real-time threats that are across different organizations and gives you insight about it, whereby it allows Copilot to amplify human expertise with AI. So now putting all this together, Copilot now acts as a central intelligence layer across your Microsoft security product, whereby it reads the likes of signals, understand what is going on, explain it clearly, and also get to suggest best action for you, as well as gives you automated response, right? So instead of you having maybe instead of you having team of security jumping between different dashboards to another dashboard to another dashboard, Copilot brings everything into a unified experience for you, right? I think that seems straightforward. So now, going forward now, for this Copilot for security, we now have different experience, right? So Microsoft simplified it into different experience so that you can get to utilize it very well. So we have the standalone experience, we have the embedded experience, and we now have the agent experience, which was recently introduced, right? So now I'll explain everything one after the other. So the first one is the standalone experience, right? So now this standalone experience is just like it's just like for those of us that utilize AI platform like ChatGPT, like Gemini, like all of that AI platform, whereby you go to the AI platform and you ask it questions, right? Help me generate this, help me generate a proposal, do this, do that, right? But for the standalone experience, you can go to the platform, right, and ask it questions about your environment. For instance, now probably you want it to list out to help you to list out the list of unsuccessful signing within your environment within the last 3 months. You can just go to this standalone experience and type it there, and Copilot will give you response to it. You can go there and maybe tell me about the latest incident within my environment, or tell me about a particular incident. Copilot will give you a response to that, right? So now here we can see the Copilot for security standalone experience where all data come together in a single pane of glass, right? And on this home screen, whereby you can get to come up with different prompts. It's just about you coming up with different prompts and giving it different prompts, whereby you now get to get response from the prompt. So whereby the Copilot for security standalone experience bring together all the data. It brings together all the data across all your security portfolio. So coming to this standalone experience, you can come here and ask it everything about your entire security stack, and it's going to give you the responded action from here, right? So it brings together the data across all your security portfolio, right? Which enriches you with what is called the threat intelligence, and it has a pre-built-in prompt. Let's say, for instance, now maybe you want to summarize an incident used from maybe Sentinel, or probably you want to get an information about a particular device from Intune, or maybe you want to get identity information from Entra, or probably you want to get maybe data information from Purview. So you can always get all this one from just one session without you going to different portals and different ones, right? So this can be your AI assistant for anything related to security, right? I'm going to show us some prompt in the demo as we get to the demo part. So now from here, these are some prompts that we can also get. Maybe for instance, now you can go there and ask it, how can I improve my security posture? Right? So it will give you different ways on how you can get to improve your security postures. Are any of my machine affected? It will give you response. If any of your machine is affected, you get to show it and gives you what and what you can get to do, right? You see everything that is related in terms of IP, users, initial access, um, everything related to the incident, you get to see it from there. Maybe summarize an incident in bullet to give you everything, which alert are being triggered the most. It gives you everything about the prompt that you ask, and it gives you a good response, right? So that's about the standalone experience, right? So now, I said we have three different experience. We have the standalone, we have the embedded, and we have the agent, right? The agent was newly introduced, so it won't be, it might not be in this particular place, but I'll also explain it in the coming slide, right? So now, and don't forget that this security for Copilot is actually being integrated to all the security stack from the Defender to the Sentinel, to Intune, to Purview, right? So now, both the standalone experience as well as the embedded experience are actually being integrated and available within all the security stack. So for example, for the Defender, you have the standalone experience and you have the embedded experience. Sentinel, you have the standalone, you have the experience, you have the embedded. For Intune, you also have it. For Entra, you have the boot experience, and as well as the purview, you have the boot experience, whereby you can have the likes of rapid investigation and response, whereby it can help you to investigate with AI assisted insight and give you a quick remediation, as well as an actionable and a prioritized remediation steps, right? Then it also allows you to troubleshoot your devices in a very fast way, right? So it has an end-to-end security at machine speed, right? So now moving forward, this is how the two experience look like, right? Even though I'm still going to speak more about them. So experience to meet where you are and how you work. So if I want to use the standalone, I can use the standalone whereby I can ask it anything related to my security or anything related to security within my environment, right? So the standalone helps your team to gain a broader context to troubleshooting and probably remediating incident faster within your security for Copilot UI experience, right? Then also, you can also get to probably summarize an incident from Sentinel, get a device content from Intune, or maybe hunt for maybe an alert directly from the standalone experience. Or maybe you want to get anything related to identity from the Entra, as well as maybe content from your contacts from your purview, right? Directly from one experience. That's when we have the standalone experience. Right, for the embedded, right? For the embedded experience, that one gives you like a it gives you like a different let's say for instance now I want to get a particular information about identity directly from Entra portal. Then the copilot is embedded into the Entra portal itself. I want to get an information about a device from Intune. Then copilot is also embedded in that device. For example now, for the screen, what we have on our screen is the copilot from the Defender portal, right? So in the next tab, I mean the next slide, we have the standalone experience. So now this is the security copilot in the unified SOC platform. This is from the Defender platform, whereby if you want to maybe get a context about a particular alert or a particular incident, you can quickly access the incident, the threat directly from the security portal. Whereby at the right hand side, you get to see the copilot for security, right? Maybe you want to investigate an incident, or maybe you want to get certain things directly from the security center. You have it directly from the embedded part, which is for the security. Also, for the Intune, right? For those of us that are familiar with Microsoft Intune as well, we have the Security Copilot embedded in Microsoft Intune, whereby maybe you want to get a particular thing about a particular device, you want to create a policy, or maybe you want to troubleshoot, or you want to compare two devices, right? You can get to do that directly, or probably you want to have a simplified posture management about your devices, right? You can get to do that directly from the security for Copilot in Intune, right? Then also for the Entra as well. This is for the Entra. Maybe you want to investigate a particular risky signing, or you want to troubleshoot a particular signing request, or probably you want to do different things directly from the Entra portal, then you can get to use the Copilot embedded in the Microsoft Entra, whereby it enables the likes of analysts to investigate and resolve identity risk issues quickly by summarizing the likes of logs, providing recommendations, and giving you content or context within your environment to identify identity related threat, right? Then also the likes of your admins can inquire using lateral language about maybe interrupted field signing, or probably anything related to identity, even conditional access policies and many more. You can get to do that directly from the copilot in the Entra. Then also We also have the Copilot in the Purview portal as well, right? For those of us that use um the Microsoft Purview as well, we have the Copilot or the Security Copilot, which is embedded in the Purview portal, whereby um it gives you integrated insight across your solution and compliance insight into regulations and probably corporate policies or maybe policy violated. So if you have a DLP policy to block maybe users from exporting things from USB port, and maybe someone tries to violate that policy, right? You can get to analyze those kind of incidents directly from the security copilot. Or probably you have like maybe an insider risk policy within your environment, or you have a communication compliance policy, and there are some people that are violating those policies. You can get to investigate those kind of incidents directly from the Copilot for Purview, right? I'm going to show you all these things directly from the demo so you get to understand them better. Then also for the Defender for Cloud, right? For the Defender for Cloud, Defender for Cloud is the Microsoft Defender solution that helps you to protect um any kind of resource that you have that is sitting in the Azure environment, any kind of resource that you have that is maybe sitting in your on-premise environment or any multi-cloud environment, right? So you can also get to investigate incidents, right? You can also get to investigate incidents directly from the security copilot from the Defender for Cloud, whereby you can also get to understand your security posture. It can give you guided recommendations and many more directly from the Defender for Cloud as well. Then also, we now have what is called the Copilot for Security Agents. So for those of us that are familiar with the Microsoft Copilot, right? Gone are the days whereby Microsoft were still pushing prompt. You need to learn how to prompt, how to do different things. So they've gone past prompting now, right? What is actually on point now is what is called agent, right? What is actually on point is what is called agent. And what is a Copilot agent? Copilot agent refers to like an AI-driven component designed to automate and execute tasks or maybe a business process within your environment, right? It's an AI-driven component which is actually being designed to automate and execute tasks within your environment, or probably to help you to automate business processes within your environment. That's what agent is all about. And when you look at alerts, right? Security team now, we have a lot of alerts that are coming in. Threats are actually evolving faster, smarter. A lot of threats are coming in. Even attackers now, they are now using AI itself to strike different organizations, right? So now to keep this pace, right? To keep at this particular pace, right? Static automation is no longer enough, right? So team like security team, they need intelligent tools that can help them to adapt to all these fast and rapid things. And that's where the Copilot for security agent comes in, whereby it seamlessly integrate with Microsoft security ecosystem within your environment to automate different things within your environment, right? So now you can come up with, there are a lot of agents, there are a lot of security related agents that can be built within your environment. There's one particular agent that I love so much. For those of us that are familiar with Microsoft Intune, so let's say I want to create a policy. Let's for instance, I want to create a policy to block or to prevent users from using USB on their PC. Instead of me to start going online and checking for how to do that, I'll just go to the agent and I'll type it. Help me create a policy that can block using of USB on my PC. It will create the policy for you. It will create the complete policy for you. It's just for you to save the policy. That's all. Instead of you going online to make research. So those are the kind of things that um, Copilot agent helps you to do, because it helps you automate all these things at the speed of AI, right? So I'm going to show us some agents. There are a lot of agents, although the agent is a new thing in the security copilot, but then we have some agents that I'll get to show you so that you get to see how these things works as well, right? So now we've been talking about Copilot for security. We'll be talking about Copilot for security. So now, what about our data? Our data that we are imputing into the Copilot platform. How secure is our data, right? How secure is our data? Hope Microsoft are not using our data to go and train some people, or they are not using the data for something else, right? So now, at first, let's talk about security, privacy, and compliance control of Copilot for security. In Microsoft, we believe that they are sitting on the golden standard for security and privacy and compliance. So when it comes to AI, right, they don't joke with users' data, right? So now your data is your data. Your data is your data while you are interacting with the security for Copilot. Your data is actually being stored at where you choose to store it, right? And it's always encrypted at rest. And what I mean is that if you are trying to set up this Copilot for security, you will be the one to you'll be the one to select where you want your data to sit, the data center where you want your data to sit, right? So that means your data is secured, your data is your data is stored at where you want it to be stored. And of course, your data is actually encrypted at rest. And also, your data is not being used for sale, or is not being used or shared with any third party agent, right? And also, your data is not being used to train other foundation AI model, right? And of course, your data is not being shared with any other open AI solution, right? So Microsoft, they're actually very, very, they're actually very, very careful in terms of data, right? Because users' data is actually very important, right? So your data is actually being protected by the most comprehensive enterprise compliance and security standard, right? So, and security for Copilot or Security Copilot is an Azure production service, and is actually being protected by the Microsoft security controls, right? Everything you are storing and everything you are doing is actually meet the Azure production data compliance standard, right? So you need to be rest assured that while you are using this Copilot is actually built with security, privacy, and compliance, right? Okay. So moving forward, right? What are the responsible principles for the AI, right? So now at Microsoft, right? Microsoft believes that the development and deployment of AI must be guided by the creation of what is called ethical framework, right? Although there are six core principles, for those of us that are familiar, there are six core principles that should be guided by all work around AI, which is actually the likes of privacy and security, the likes of reliability, fairness, transparency, accountability, right? So, but then Microsoft now focus on four key areas to help you put those principles in action, right? The first thing that you need to know is about the governance, right? First, you need governance, right? Then secondly, right, you need what is called the rules for you to have a standardized AI requirement, right? And the third thing is that, of course, this one is very, very important, which is about trainings and having the kind of best practice, right? Then the fourth one is about you having the right tools for the implementation, right? So now we should be rest assured that everything we are doing about the Copilot for security is actually in a safe way. And Microsoft has all the required, as well as all the areas to make sure that everything is actually intact, right? So now, lastly now, right? Um, I've said it initially, which I'm saying it again, right? So now when we look at this Copilot for security. Copilot for security is not like maybe ChatGPT, right? So now this Copilot for security is actually built for your organization, right? Any question that you ask Copilot for security is actually being answered based on your organization moment, based on your organization, right? At that particular moment. For example, now imagine you going to ChatGPT and asking ChatGPT, give me the list of all the unsuccessful signing in my environment within the last 5 days. Will ChatGPT be able to give you? No, because it wasn't customized for your organization, right? So that's why Copilot, every information Copilot is giving you is actually based on your organization at that moment, right? So it has an organization security data, right? Then it also works with the Microsoft Threat Intelligence data, right? So we need to be very assured that the Microsoft Copilot for security is actually powered by data that is unique to your organization at that particular moment, right? Then also, I'm sure I've spoken about this before, which I would also brief about it before. I'll brief about it again. So how does this copilot works? How does the prompting work, right? Like I said it then, the first thing is that you submit the prompt, right? That means you are submitting as an human, right? Then also you get to plan, you build the content, then it gives you like a responding action before it now gives you the response. So this is like a very simplified view about how the copilot for security get to work, right? So then moving forward, these are some feedback from the customers, from different customers on Copilot for security. For example, Havana. For those of us that know Havana, Copilot for security is allowing them to re-envision security operations within their environment. And this will be critical in helping them to close the likes of their talent gap within the environment. So there are a lot of things that they can get to do, but that they can get to do directly from their own end now, right? Then also from from Dawn as well, for those of us that are familiar with, we are excited about what we have seen from Microsoft Security for Copilot. These capabilities can help companies to stay ahead of future threats. And also, lastly, Copilot for Security can demonstrate securities to the end users. The average analyst training time used to be a couple of months, right? And with this Copilot, it has actually reduced drastically. So that means even people that are not top security people can get to now utilize, investigate incidents, investigate threat, analyze incidents, and many more using the security for Copilot at a short period of time, right? So now I don't know if there are questions, but in summary, right? In summary, what Security for Copilot does is that it helps security analysts, it helps IT administrators, it helps SOC analysts to perform their security related tasks at the speed of AI. Just look at what you are doing at ChatGPT, what you are doing directly from ChatGPT. Now you're taking it into security platform. So doing all your security tasks at the speed of AI. That's what Security for Copilot is all about. I don't know if there are questions. Do we have any questions before I move to the demo environment? Do we have any question so far? I didn't even check the chat session to understand if there are questions. Oh, okay. The session has blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, cool. Are there questions before I move to the demo environment? Let me try to share my other
Yes,
screen.
good afternoon, sir.
Yes. Good
Uh,
afternoon.
yes, my name is Yahaya Abubakar Sadiq. Thank you so much for the insightful section so far. My question is about the subscription of the Microsoft. So maybe you subscribe for a particular tenant Do you still need to subscribe to this Copilot security, or is integrated into any of the tenant you might have assigned for? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So for the subscription, before, because this Copilot for security is actually a service that is running in Azure, right? So before, you need to have an Azure subscription for you to get to use the Copilot for security. But now, because I think, was it last week that Microsoft had this their what they used to call this section that they have. So now Microsoft Security for Copilot is now, if you have the Microsoft E5 license. So for those of us that are familiar with the Microsoft license, we have E3, we have E5, we have Business Standard, Business Premium. So, but for us that have the Microsoft E5 license, right? So you now have the security for Copilot available for you. So if you have the E5 license, you can get to utilize the security for Copilot, right? But if you don't have the E5 license, then you have to utilize Azure credit for it. Is that okay, sir? Hello?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank
okay,
you.
thank you. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay. So let's move to the demo part. So so okay, sorry, I'm not even sharing this, but let me share it. I'm not going to share this. Sorry, can you also my Microsoft Edge screen?
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So now, remember I said there are different. We have three different experiences for the Copilot for security. We have the standalone, we have the embedded, and we have the agent-based experience. So I'm going to start from the standalone experience. So for you to access the Copilot for security standalone experience, so the URL is securitycopilot.microsoft.com. So I'm going to the URL now. Okay, so this is the way the standalone experience looks like, right? So from here, I can come to this place and ask it any question, right? I can come to this place and ask it any question, um, according to any question related to my environment, then it will give me the answer. We have some pre-prompt here too that I can also use, right? So now let's start from this one. How many failed signing occurred for, okay, let me try this. So how many failed signing experience occurred for this particular person in the last 48 hours? So let me use myself. I'm sure there won't be any, because do I have any failed? I think I don't have any failed signing. Let's see if there's a response for it. I don't think I have any failed signing within the last 48 hours. But let's see. Okay. Wow. So I even have I didn't even know that I had failed signing uh this thing within the last 48 hours. So now I came here, I gave it a prompt. How many failed signing occurrence does this user has within the last 48 hours? And it gave me the four signing the first failed signing experience that I had within the last 48 hours. Right. So I can get to export it here. I can see the failure reason strong authentication MFA, web native, strong authentication using MFA. I couldn't complete the MFA. Then also the last one as well, right? So I came here, I gave it this question and it gave me the answer. I can't go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT this question and to give me and to know the answer because this particular Copilot for security, like I said, is actually integrated for your environment, right? So now let me look for another prompt. We should give it another prompt. So I'm coming. Let me get a prompt. Coming in. Okay, so let's come back here. New session. So I want to give it a prompt. In one view, summarize incident. I'll give it the ID, right? And enrich with identity, device, data, blah, blah, blah. So I want it to help me to summarize this incident. And it should give me an enriched response with identity, device, data, anything related to that, right? So let me look for a particular incident that has an ID. Let me look for an incident ID so that I can bring it there. I'm coming. I want to look for any incidents. Okay, this is a multi-stage incident. Let me use this one. I have a multi-stage incident that I can use. Okay. So the incident is 42343. So I want it to help me summarize this incident ID. So let's see what's
Sorry,
the
sir.
rest.
Your screen is too tiny. Very, very tiny.
Oh, very tiny. Sorry. Let me expand it. So is it better now?
Yes, better now. Thank you.
Okay. So I want you to help me summarize this incident. So now, can you see it has given me a summary of this incident, right? So now, for those of us that are familiar with, or for those of us that are security, SecOp analysts that investigate incidents, I'm sure you understand some of all these things. So this particular incident is a multi-stage attack incident, right? So it gave me the severity of the incident, the user, the device, the number of alerts, then the kind of discovery session, the stage, execution, discovery, then containment, right? So it was a PowerShell command that was run on that PC, right? So it gave me everything about this, right? So it has helped me summarize the incident, right? Within seconds or within minutes. Before as an analyst, right? I will need to start checking different things um from the generation, I mean from the beginning of the stage to the next stage to the next stage before I can be able to properly investigate the incident. But with just few minutes, within just few minutes with Copilot for security, I was able to investigate it, right? So now let me look for another prompt. Okay, so this one is on threat intelligence. So I want it to generate a cross-production executive brief on the top 5 incidents with business impact, right? Let's see what it will give us. Okay, so I don't have an incident that has a business impact. So let me look for another prompt. Summarize DLP policy. No, you don't have the DLP policy. Okay, identify or manage. Okay, let's see this one. Identify or manage. Let me duplicate this tab. Identify or manage or non-compliant devices within my environment. Okay, and propose a remediation range. Okay, let's see. I don't have an unmanaged device. Okay, so all these ones are not related to my organization. Okay, let me just give a generic one. So list out, generate all generate all. I can use generate, I can use list, I can use anything, right? Generate all unsuccessful login within the last 10 days. So this is just like me hunting for a particular incident. So it's going to go through the KQL query language. So instead of me, for us to get stuff like this, we have to write a crystal query language to get it. But now I wrote it in a natural language. It converted it into crystal query language for me, and it gave me the list of all the unsuccessful login within my environment within the last 10 days. So I can always export it, even though it's still coming up with it, but then I can always export it. This is the crystal query language that is going to use, right? So I can always export it fast. Why this? In the car, right? Also, I can also get other things, even about documentations. Maybe I want to get things about Microsoft documentation, list common cloud security misconfiguration and how to avoid it. I can also get to ask it, what are the critical Sentinel incidents right now? It can always give me, let's see. So I can come here and ask it anything related to security. It will give me the response, right? It will give me response about everything. So that's about the standalone part. And even from this standalone, I can get to see the list of all the agents that we have within the environment, all the Copilot for security agents that we have within the environment. But I want to speak about the agent, and I want to talk about the agent in the last part of the presentation, right? But these are some of the agents that we have within the environment. Some of them are Microsoft configured own. I think I only have two. We only have two that are not Microsoft published one. Okay, one. It's just one that is not Microsoft published that we have within the environment. So now let me now go to the embedded part of the Copilot for security. So let me start from the security center. So the Microsoft Security Center is security.microsoft.com. So from this platform, you can get to investigate, you can get to do anything around security from the Microsoft security standpoint. The Microsoft Sentinel is here. We have Defender for Identity here. We have Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Office 365, Defender for Cloud App. Then the Copilot for Security Agent is also here. So let's start from the investigation and incidents. So let's assume I want to investigate a particular incident, right? So once I come here, I click on incidents. I have a lot of incidents here. So once I click on this particular, once I have any incident and I click on it, at the right hand side, you can see Copilot coming up straight. So immediately I click on the incident, Copilot is here coming up for me. So it's going to give me a summary of it. It will give me it will give me a summary of it. It will give me guided response, right? It will give me the remediation part as well. So now this is the summary of the incident. A medium blah 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 blah. A medium security incident titled multi-stage incident. So this is the summary of it, right? I can see more prompt about it. If I want to read more prompt about this particular incident, I can see prompt here that I can use. Then it would also, I told you that it will give me, like if there's any need for me to reach out to the user that is associated to the incident, it will give me what I can use to reach out to the user. So this is like an email that I can compose and send to the user, right? Then it also gave me how I can get to resolve the particular incident, how I can get to resolve it. It also gives me the actions that I can use to resolve it, right? So now, let's assume I want to add more prompt to this incident. Yeah, so show key details about blah, 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 blah. So now, before, if you want to investigate this particular incident, for you to have this summary that we have here, for you to have this summary, right, you have to come here, you have to start checking this, you have to start checking this, check the alert, check the asset, check evidence, different things before you can get to investigate this thing. But now, with just a little click, you have the summary of it here, right? So now let's check another incident. Let me look for another incident. Okay, suspicious behavior. So a medium severity incident titled suspicious behavior by this is a command line as well, was observed between blah 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 blah. The incident was tagged as a suspicious process of execution activity. The affected device is this, right? Then it will also give me guided actions and many more. It can also give me evidence and everything about the incident, right? So that is about incidents. The same thing is also applicable to alerts as well. If there are alerts, once I select it, it will direct me to the incident and I have the remediated action here as well. So while that one is coming up, because no time. So I can also okay. So I can also show us the hunting part. So let's say for instance now, I want to hunt for a particular threat. For those of us that are familiar with hunting part. So if you want to hunt for a particular threat, this is just like a proactive way. You want to get certain things within your environment. You want to hunt for threats within your organization. So for us to do that, we need to use crystal query language. This is what is called crystal query language. You come up with something like this, right? Then you run it as a query. But now you don't need to start cracking your brain for this cryptocurrency language, just come here and write it in any language, any natural language that you understand. Is it English, Spanish, any language that you understand? Write it here. Cryptocurrency language will give you the answer. So let me now try this. Okay, let me use list of. List of, okay, sorry. So list of all unsuccessful login attempts within the last 30 days. Let's see. Can you see it generated the query for me? Then I can now run the query. So it has given me the answer of all the unsuccessful login activities within the last 30 days, right, in my environment. So that's about the advanced hunting. So now, what if I want to use threat intelligence, right? So from threat intelligence as well, I can also come here and ask it different things about different threats. So once I come to this threat intelligence, it gives me a lot of threats intelligence, a lot of threat analytics within the within the entire landscape, right? So let's say for instance, I want to learn more about this particular threat, right? Or let me look for okay, this is an Opel sled. So let me click on this. This is threat analytics. I'm looking for, okay, here. So check if, okay, so here I have a good prompt here. I've seen a very good prompt that I can use. So now the prompt I use is give me an overview of the latest threat. So these are the latest threats. It gave me an highlight of the latest threat, right? It gave me the article, the way the threat looks like, right? So, but what if I just want to give it a custom prompt? So I can come here, I have a custom prompt here. I said summarize current phishing law targeting West Africa financial service, then add the recent campaigns and delivery tactics. So let's see what it will give us if it's able to come up with. Oh my God, I've exceeded my capability. I'm coming. Let me extend it. Oh God. Oh, see if I can extend it from here. See if I can extend it from here. I've I've finished my subscription for the Copilot for security. So I want to see if I can extend it. That's what I'm trying to do now. I've utilized it. So I want to see if I can extend it so that we can continue with the demo. Even it's 7. 7. Okay. So let's now see if it will come in. Ah, okay. So I've extended it. It will take a while for it to come. So while it's trying to come up, let me share the previous ones that I have opened. So this. So, so coming. Okay. So now I'll go back to the security center once the stuff comes back up, right? So, but while it's trying to come up, I have some that I've opened down. For example, now this is the one that is embedded in Microsoft Entra. As you can see, this is entra.microsoft.com, right? So I came to this Entra, I checked for risky detection. I have some risky detections from here. So I asked it the question, which application has the highest risk? So it gave me the particular application, right? Then also it gave me the owner of the application, right? Then I told it to list out all flagged risky IDs within my environment, and it gave me some of all those things, right? Then also, let's assume I want it to give me risky users. Let's see if it is up. Oh, it is not yet up. Okay, let's see if it can generate it. Ah, it's not yet up. Oh my God. I've utilized my. Let me try to sign in into the private browser. Maybe. Mhm. I've increased this thing now. Yes, I have 7 capacity. Yeah. So yeah, thank God it's now back. Perfect. So let me. So it's back. Let me go to into. Back. Okay. Okay, I saw that someone dropped something. For those of us that need to understand how to hunt for threats. So thank you so much, Badiwo. I'm trying to just architecture. Okay. So my my subscription has expired and I tried to extend it, even though I was able to extend it, but I don't know. It's taking a while for it to reflect. So but so far, do we have any question? Do we have any questions so far regarding everything? So just in summary, what Copilot for Security is doing for us is that it helps us to perform our tasks in terms of our security related tasks from the identity part. For those of us that understand the security landscape, we have the identity and access management, which is the Entra. We have the threat protection, which is the defenders. We have the purview, which is the data security. That's information security as well. Then we have the Intune as well, which is the endpoint management. So now the security for Copilot allows you to do everything that you are doing from this portal. It allows you to do it at the speed of AI. It's very painful that I couldn't show us the Copilot from Microsoft Intune, right? It's actually the most interesting part. If you want to create policies, right, it guides you on how you can get to create Intune policies, right? It gives you breakdown of all the settings that is in the policy that you want to create. In fact, like I said, you can also create an agent whereby you just give that agent the prompt you want. Help me create this policy, and it will create the policy for you, right? There are different types of agents. Apart from that, intern agent, there's an agent as well, which is for defender, whereby you can use it to properly analyze incidents, whereby it gives you like a forensic part of that incident, right? So there are a lot of incidents, there are a lot of things that you can get to achieve directly from the security for Copilot. But unfortunately, and it's really paining me that my subscription is still showing the same thing. Let me sign out and sign in again because I really want to show us that intune part. Okay, so apart from if you have um if you have an extra license of P1 and maybe P2, right? You still require a Copilot for security license, right? You still require a Copilot for security license for you to be able to perform those tasks. right? But if you have E5 within your environment, let's say you have M365 E5. Once you have M365 E5, then you have the proper license for you to utilize the Copilot for security. But if you don't have E5, if you have P1, you have P2, then you need to subscribe to Azure subscription. You need to subscribe to Azure for you to be able to get the Copilot for security because it's a service that is running in Azure. I'm going to show us something around that now. I want to try to log in for the last time. If it doesn't go through now, then I'll just show us a link on the pricing part. Yeah? You have a question? Is it not available? So let me just show us the license part. Do you have a question, Chukwuebuka?
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yeah, yes. Good afternoon.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for the presentation. It was very detailed and straight to the point. Well, I wanted to ask, you mentioned that we could use the agents, Copilot agent when we're setting policies. Are there like any downsides to it? Like if we want to use the agent, if we want the agent to help us create policy.
Well, down. You mean is there any downside to it by creating the policy? So now,
Yeah, is there anything?
so,
Okay.
so now, if you are familiar with creating policies in Intune, so let's say for instance now, what Intune is used for. Intune is used for managing devices within an environment, right? So let's say for instance now you want to manage laptops within your environment. You want to manage, let's say you want to block users, you want to prevent users from printing directly from their laptop, or maybe you want to block them from using USB on their laptop, or probably you want to block them from having local admin rights on their PC, right? And you don't know how to create that policy. Or maybe you want to block screenshots on the PC, you want to block network and all those things on the PC, and you don't know how to create that kind of policy using Microsoft Intune. So instead of you, maybe by default now you have to go online and check for how to create those policies. It's available on Microsoft Doc, right? But you can use the agent to automate it, whereby you just go to the agent and type it in natural language. You type it in natural language. Help me create a policy to block using usage of USB on my PC. I mean, to block usage of PC. I mean, usage of USB on Windows 10 devices, right? It will help you create the policy. So it's going to create the policy. It won't save it, right? It's going to create the policy, but it won't save it. So you have to, yeah, because of course it's a draft. So you have to look at the policy as well. If there's anything you want to change there, you change it, then you save it yourself.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
I think I have the page opened. I'm trying to, because I have a lot of tabs that I have opened. I think there was one I did. I hope it won't. No, I've closed it. Let me try again if the Copilot is back. Summarize into device. Submit. Summarize with Copilot. Copilot. Let me put today, man. Okay, let me see if I can use the agent without that. So I have policy configuration. Okay, let's see. So let me open, which one am I sharing? I'm sharing this. Okay, so let me go to the Intune portal. Yes, I think I have some that I've created. Let's go there. So for those of us that are familiar with Intune, and for those of us that are not familiar with Intune, this is how the Intune portal looks like. For you to access it, you just navigate to the URL intune.microsoft.com, right? So now this is the home dashboard. This is the home, right? So for me to see the agent, I can just come here. Once I come here, I'll see we have different types of agents. We have change review agent. This one evaluates the effect of any approval process in Intune and makes recommendation, right? We have device offboarding agent. So if you want to offboard a certain device, want to remove some device from Intune, you have large number of devices that you want to remove from Intune. You can use this one to automate it. Then this one is the policy configuration agent I was referring to. Let me see. These are some tasks that I've done in the past. Let me see if I can help. So now, like this one now, I told you to help me create a policy to block usage of USB, right? So I ran it. Let me see if I can create a new one. If it will go, policy draft. You can call it, let's see, test, let's just call it test USB, right? Then I can give it a description. For the knowledge source, I'll leave it as knowledge source. Then here, I'll give it the prompt I want it to do, right? For example, now, as you can see, create a policy. Let me say, I can't copy this thing. Okay, so let me do it like this. Create a policy that blocks USB storage on Windows devices, on Windows 10 devices, or should I say, okay, on Windows 10 and 11 devices. So I want to give you this instruction. Create a policy that blocks USB storage on Windows 10 and Windows 11 devices. Let's see if it will go through. So this is, okay, this is it. Is running it in progress. Right, that one is coming up. Let me see if the security this thing is back. If the agent, I mean this thing is back. You're back. So it didn't go through because of the stuff, because it's not yet back. But these are an existing one that I've done initially before, right? So this is the one for blocking. So once I click on it, it takes me to the policy, right? So this is the policy already. It has the policy for me, right? So this is the major thing that will block it. So it has it enabled already. So it's just for me to create next, then assign it. Once I assign it, then I've created the policy. So initially, I'm supposed to check online, start checking for how to do this thing. You understand? Let me show you another example. This one, I said deploy Office application. I asked it to create a policy to deploy Office application. That's Office app for enterprise, which is Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, right? So it created the policy for me. This is the policy that will deploy it. So let me create. I'll just click on create. That's giving me what it has enabled it for me. It's just for me to select next, then assign it to the users. Even from here, let's assume the Copilot is back. Once I click on this, it will give me an insight on what this thing is all about. Wow, it seems it's back. Oh, let me see. Can you see the office, blah, 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 blah. When the policy is enabled, systems, blah, 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 another, blah, 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 blah. So it's going to install this application on the PC. That's what it's referring to. So now let me see. It's as if it's back. Let's see. Let's assume I want to create a policy. Let's assume I want to create a compliance policy. You generate it. Perfect. Perfect. So now let's assume I want to create a policy from Microsoft Intune, right? So now I don't know what this custom compliance is all about, right? I don't know what this select your discovery script is all about. Once I click on this, it gives me a summary about this particular option in the policy. So while I'm creating my policy, I understand what those options are actually meant for. BitLocker, Secure Boot, everything about those policy. Everything about those policies. It gives me summary about everything about those policies, right? So I think the stuff is back. So I think it's back. Let me see if I can sharply show us more because I think it's going from here now. It's going. Let me go to devices. Let me look for my device. So once I come to device, this is my device. I just want to have a summary about my device. I want to have like a full summary about my device. So let me, oh, no, agent is running, okay. I want to start new chat. So summarize this device. Perfect. So immediately I click on summarize this device. It gave me a summary of my device straight, right? The Intune device ID, the device name, Azure ID, complaint type, blah, 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 different. It gave me everything about this, my device, right? So now, if I want to ask, maybe I wanted to list out maybe I want to compare the device, or I want to show the apps that I have on my device, right? So I can also tell it to show me the apps that I have on my device. So show me the apps, discovered apps on my device. It's going to show me the list of all the discovered apps. A total of 127 applications were discovered on this device, blah, 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 blah. So let's assume I also want to compare my device with another device. Or okay, show policies assigned to this device. I want you to show all the policies that are assigned to this particular device, right? I can come here and ask it to show me all the policies that are assigned to all my devices. It will show me the list of policies that are assigned to my device. Of course, it's not if you don't have access to the Intune portal, right? Let's assume you don't have an Intune admin right. You don't have the RBAC Intune admin right assigned to you. Of course, you won't be able to have access to all these things. So that means you must have the admin rights to Intune portal. You must have the Copilot security for Copilot license also assigned to you as well, right? So these are all the policies that are assigned to my device, right? So let's say I now want to compare my device with another device. I want to compare it with another device. So let me get another device name. Let me get another device name. Let me see if I can just use Faruq Mark. So I want to compare it in terms of hardware. I didn't get that Faruq. I didn't get it right. So let me get the exact name of my device. Oh, okay, this is Windows. So all devices is a MacBook. So the name is Faruq Mark. Okay, this is iPhone. Let me compare again. Thank you for Audrey. Yes. Can you see? I was able to compare my devices, the two devices. One is a Windows device, the other one is a Mac device, right? So, so it gave me the name, right? The Intune device ID, the serial number of the two devices, the operating system, the version, the manufacturer, the model, the processor, and many more, right? So if I also want to compare the applications, it can also do it for me as well, right? So that's about that. Let's move back to the security center because we have some things that we still need to do there before the time goes off. Okay, so back to the security center. I've shown us the investigation part. I've shown us the threat analyst. I mean the threat intelligence part. Let me show us. Okay, let's go to devices. So from here too, if I want to check anything about a particular device, what's the name of that device? What's the name of the device again? Okay, desktop. So once I click on this particular device, right? It gives me a summary of the device here too as well. You see Copilot coming up here. As you can see, Copilot is following me back to back. Anywhere I'm going to, Copilot is following me. Immediately I click on the device, Copilot is giving me a summary of the device here, right? So it gives me the summary, the kind of policy that I have assigned to the device, right? So that is about the device part. So also, if I go to, I just want to be first. If I click on Security Copilot as well here, I'll see the list of agents. Yeah, I'll see the list of agents that we have. Some of the agents that we are currently utilizing. This one is not a Microsoft agent, it's a third-party agent. This one is a Microsoft agent, phishing tree. This one is threat intelligence agent as well, right? So we have another one which is called Zero Trust. If I come to publisher, I'll see all the agents that are being published by Microsoft, right? Then if I click on non-Microsoft, I would see agent, but these are the ones that we have within my environment, right? So you can see list of agents. But if I want to check the ones available in general, I can click on this security store. So security store is the store at which you get to see all the agents that are available for you to download. There are several agents available. Some of them are Microsoft ones, some of them are third-party ones. For example, now this PIMI site, this one performs comprehensive analysis of privileged identity activation for entra roles within your environment. Let me get this one. I think I like this. So there are several agents that you can get to utilize based on your organization use cases, and some of them are for free. Some of them are for free. Why some of them are free trial, and why some of them are for purchase, right? So if you want to use all these ones are actually third-party ones. So you need to pay the provider for you to utilize their agent. And you too, you can also build your own agent as well, right? It's possible for you to customize to build your agent. Let me show us how to build agent. So if you want to build your own agent from here, from the standalone, portal, you can always come to build. Once you come to build, right, you can always build agent from yourself, right? So let's say, for instance, I want to create an agent to surface recent threat intelligence within my environment. Or I want to create an agent to summarize recent security events, or probably I want to create an alert triggage agent to help prioritize important alerts. I can always build it, but let's use this one. Create an agent to summarize recent security incidents. So it's going to help me build the agent. So I don't need to be writing code for me to build agent. It's going to build it for me. It's going to provide the manifest code for me. To proceed with building, I need few clarification. Which product or data source should the agent? Okay, let me use Defender. Oh, sorry. Then who should be listed? The organization name or custom? Let me see. Then general. Let's see if it will get my prompt. So it has created my agent for me. So if I want to view the code of the agent, let's assume I want to understand more about the agent. I can just click on it to show me the manifest code that was used to build the agent. And in case if I want to download it, maybe for later use, I can always download the manifest agent, right? So that's giving me the agent, everything, right? So, okay, perfect. So if I want to use my agent, I can always use it, right? List out. This is just like an overview of the agent. So I can always come here and give it the prompt I want. Then I'll give it the prompt I want and to do it for me, right? So that's about that. So lastly, before we complete it, let me show us the one from the I've shown us the one from the security center, the one from Intune. Let me show us just a summary of the one from Purview portal. Okay, so for those of us that are familiar with Purview, right? This is how the Purview portal looks like. It's purview.microsoft.com. At the right hand side there, you can find the Copilot here. Like I said, Copilot is just following me back to back anywhere I'm going to. So if I want to troubleshoot, I want to learn, I want to ask anything, I'll get to see it here, right? So now, let's say I want to learn how to set up a DLP policy. Let's ask it and let's see what it will give us. To set up DLP policy, start by identifying the stakeholders, blah, 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 blah. It has given me step. Then it can also help me design stuff like that, create and deploy a data prevention policy. It took me to the documents where I can learn about it, right? So, but let's say for instance now, I have some incidents that I want to investigate. So let's say I want to go to let's say for instance, I want to use I don't have a DLP policy, so I won't use that. Let me go to insider risk management, and I have some alerts within my environment. So this is insider risk policies. So we use insider risk policy to create policies to manage the likes of insider threat within our environment. So let's say someone is trying to delete large volume of files from OneDrive, right? Something is wrong. Insider risk management will flag it. So I have some policies. We've created different policies, and these are alerts from the policy. For example, this one is data leak quick policy. I have a policy called data leak quick policy. So this is an alert that came from it, right? So I can click on Copilot. Copilot will help me summarize this alert. And it's already summarizing it here. Let me use a new one so that we'll get it from scratch. So it has summarized it for me. The alert, blah, 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 is from insider risk management involving anonymous user detected, blah, 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 blah. So I can tell you to show key actions performed by the user in the last 10 days. Hey, this thing has started again. Okay, thank God it came. I've completed it again. Oh, this is my subscription. Okay. Show key actions. So no, I've completed my. Why is it not giving me? Okay. However, it has summarized it for me, so it has summarized the incident for me, right? So apart from insider risk, if we use communication compliance too, Do I have any alert from communication compliance? No, this will not. I don't have any view alert from it. If I go to Activity Explorer, Activity Explorer. If I go to Activity Explorer, so from here too, I can see Copilot here. So maybe I want it to just filter and investigate activities. Let me see. Filter and investigate activities by. Let's see. To proceed with filtering and investigating activities, you need to review and apply appropriate filter, blah, 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 blah. User, apply. So I don't have any activity within the last, I don't want to use the live listing. So, but let's assume I have an activity, it will summarize it for me, right? Okay, let me even change the date. Let me see, though I can't use more than a month. Let's see if I have any information for the last 1 month. I don't think I'll have any information. That's it. I'm sure I don't have any information. But if it's an environment that has a live information about it, they can get to see stuffs from there, right? Let's see, reset all. Yeah, so it won't give me that. We don't really use DLP within the environment. So also, okay, there's something interesting I want to show us as well. So DSPM, let me go to security investigation. No, investigation. No, not this. Where is DSPM? Ahead. So there's something called data security posture management. It gives insight and recommendation for protecting sensitive data and also improving security posture within the environment. So let's assume I want to check risky user investigation. I just want to check some risky users within the environment. I can come here, impute the username. I want to see the risky user investigation performed by this user within the last 20 days. Let's see if it will have anything for me. Because I do a lot in terms of so that I can have alert ahead. So these are some things that I've done within the last 30 days, which is a risky activity, right? Yeah. So I have like a Copilot sensitive response within it occurred 150 times. So I have different things that you can also get to perform directly from here using the Copilot. I don't want it to I don't want it to finish my license again so that I can show us the last one, which is Entra. So for the Entra, you go to entra.microsoft.com. Once you go to entra.microsoft.com, so for those of us that are familiar with Entra, once you come to Entra, let's go to identity protection. So from this identity protection, you can get to see risky agents, risky users, risky workloads, and risky sign-ins. So let me use risky sign-ins. I think I have 2 or 3 which I've not attended to. While this is coming up, let me use my Copilot as well, which is faster. So I want to ask it, which user is at risk within my environment. So I have some users already, but let me see what Copilot give me. So it gave me the list of users that are at risk in my environment. So I can work with these users that are at risk, right? I can tell it to show me sign-in risk activity. So all these users, some of them are using VPN, or most of them are even using VPN because of the location they are signing in from. I can also ask, has there been any recent risky sign-ins? And the same way I can also do for risky workloads. If I want to check risky workloads within my environment, right? I can also get to do that. So it has shown me the recent risky sign-in. So risky workload is coming up as well. So what are the certain applications? What are the certain applications defined as risky? So it will show me all the applications and the service principal ID as well. So certain application know that blah 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 blah. So list the apps this for me, the risky apps, service principal to list it for me as well, like I said. I'm sorry for being too fast. So some of all these things are things that we need to start investigating by ourselves, right? But there are a lot of prompts here that we can just use to get the stuffs sharply, right? So for organizations that also utilize agent, so let's say for instance, you have an agent, not even security agent. Maybe you have M365 Copilot agent, or maybe you have a Copilot Studio agent as well. You can also get to secure, you can also get to manage those agents directly from here, right? If you come here, you have an overview of all the agents you have within your environment, right? In my own environment, I have about 240 agents. The recently created ones are 28, the active ones are 240, right? I can check all the agents directly from here in case if I want to block some people from using certain agents, I can always come here and block them from using the agent, right? And I can also see the sign-in logs of all those agents, the interactive, non-interactives, and many more directly from here as well, right? So from here, I can, how many users sign in without MFA authentication recently? Copilot would bring it for me straight, right? So those are some things that you can get to achieve using the Copilot, right? So now, lastly, let me show us the agents we're trying to, the stuff we're trying to create from the intern agent then. After this intern, then we can now close the session. But I just want to ask so far, how has the session been so far? Is it something we really enjoy? How has the session been so far? Hello? Am I still on the call?
Yes, yes, on the call.
Okay. So how has the session been so far? Even though there was a little challenge with my license, with my subscription, but how has the session been so far?
So far, it's been so good. A lot of information. Yeah.
Perfect. So now let me show us the agents we created then from the intern part. Okay, so now let's recreate this agent. Let me see the stuff we used for it. It actually created it. No. So what is the drive? Test one drive. Test okay, let's say BitLocker. So you can say create a policy that enforces BitLocker on all devices. So if I want to create a policy to enforce BitLocker on all the devices, so for those people that they use BitLocker in their organization, so this is how they get to create some of the BitLocker policies that I use. But I want Copilot to help me automate it, the agent to help me automate it, instead of me creating it from scratch. It's trying to create it for me. Oh, my subscription, it failed, it still failed. So I think I need to fix my subscription. But it'll take a while, so let's see. Let me even see the subscription I'm using for that agent. Maybe it's still active. Because for the agent, you need an Azure subscription for the agent as well. That's where they'll be charging, or that's where they'll be billing you for the agent, apart from the Security Copilot license that you have. So let me check my subscription for the agent. Let's do, let me see, this doesn't create anything.
So you should be rounding up in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're rounding up now. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's okay. Okay. So if okay, so and lastly, we are rounding up now, but I just want to show us the last part, which is the Defender for Cloud. For those of us that utilize the Defender for Cloud as well. So the security for Copilot also can be extended to the Defender for Cloud as well. So if I have, do I have any alerts here? Let me see. See. So like by recommendations, let me go to recommendations. So if I have recommendations as well, maybe I have recommendations for my Defender for Cloud. Once I click on the recommendation, my Copilot will also come up here. So if there are recommendations as well from your Defender for Cloud as well, Copilot can help you to summarize the recommendations in seconds as well. So if we have access to, because we can't complete the whole demo within the little period of time that we have. So if you have, let's say you have access to some of all these things, you can also get to test it within your environment. And if you have any issue, you can always reach out to myself, or you can always reach out to the moderator. So I think that should be all for my hand so far. I don't know if there are any questions so far. If there are no questions, I'd like to from here hand over to the moderator. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you so much for the amazing session. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for staying to the end of the call. So once the recording is available, it's going to be shared with us so that we can view it again. Thank you so much, Faruq, for your time. We are actually happy to have you today. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.